This just in, you are looking at obviously a very disturbing live shot there. That is the World Trade Center, and we have unconfirmed reports this morning that a plane has crashed into one of the towers of the World Trade Center.
People in the building?
Oh, another one just hit. Something else just hit. A very large plane just flew directly over my building, and there's been another collision.
Shortly after those attacks on the twin trade towers in New York City, at the Pentagon, in one of the outer rings, another hijacked airliner crashed into two areas there, killing an untold number of U.S. military personnel in Washington, D.C.
When my father woke me up to tell me the towers had been hit, I go in and start watching television, and I see everything unfold that day, and I realize, well, my radio career is no longer. I have to go back in the military, and that's exactly what I did. It had such an impact on me. I never thought I'd be back in the military, but I knew at that point that that's exactly what I needed to do, and I went back in for 5 years, put my radio career on hold, served my country, and here we are 10 years later.
I was on my way to work, and I remember hearing it on the radio, and all I wanted to do was turn my car around and go get my kid.
Oh, September 11th, what a day. I remember getting ready to head up to Baltimore to watch Cal Ripken play his last home game before he retired. I'll never forget 9/11. Let us all never forget 9/11.
Take a moment and pause and pray for all those families out there that were affected that morning. God bless all those war victims. May they always be remembered, and lest we ever forget what they experienced and went through, whether it be in Shanksville or Washington or up at Ground Zero in Lower Manhattan. God bless you, and God bless America.
So much confusion, and that's the main thing I remember is there was just so much confusion and so much emotion, and nobody really knew what to do, but everybody knew it was something big.
Well, now, I'm in the military, and I'm serving in the Marine Corps, so it had a big impact on what I really wanted to do with my life and set my priorities. And me, I think that it's really helped a lot of people refocus their mindsets on what can actually happen to us these days.
I remember watching it on TV, and I just sat there in horror. I was stunned. And after I was finally able to regain my breath, the first thing I did was I called my mom.
Picked up the phone, and it was my father-in-law saying, "Hey, do you know what's happening this morning? If you turn on the television, turn on to CNN. We've been bombed up there in New York City. A plane hit one of the towers, World Trade Center Twin Towers." I was like, "You have got to be kidding."
On 9/11, my husband didn't come home that day. He didn't come home the second day. But on the third day, he called me in tears, explaining as soon as he saw the first plane hit the tower, he got on a bus and went to New York. He called me in tears explaining the devastation, and he had an 8-year-old who had been separated from her mother, and she walked around the streets of New York with him for 3 days until they finally found some of her family. We salute all of the heroes, all of the survivors of 9/11. We salute you.